live from our studio in Atlanta, Georgia, this is the A1 Trading Daily Show. Whether markets are rising or falling, we're here to keep you up to date with the latest market news. Join us as we trade currencies, commodities, and indices live, Monday through Friday.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another live stream. We're back in the beach, back on the summer vibes that we're doing for this latest live streams. Hope you guys are all doing well. We're back on the charts here to see what's going on, and we've got to start, of course, with the latest, which is if we go take a look at the news here, you've got the cash rate here that came out last night for me and for many of us in the States. Cash rate came out at 4.1%. And guys, this was another surprise from the RBA. The Central Bank of Australia raised interest rates by more than what was expected. Pretty substantial, right? Up to 4.10%. Let's have a look at the Australian dollar and see the reaction here. Here is the Aussie US dollar cross, and you can see that we've had a really strong rally following the announcements of again, the rate hike that was that occurred. So taking a look here today, what you can see is that the news occurred during this candle right here, this big green shoot to the upside. We can actually drop down to the 1 hour chart, maybe see that a little bit better. You can see there is the pop, and you know, this has what I would consider a strong short-term catalyst to the upside for the Australian dollar, right? The idea being, again, rate hikes, more rate hikes than expected, are generally considered to be bullish for the currency, as basically it attracts foreign investment, right? If a central bank is offering 4.1% compared to what was 3.85%, you can obviously see that parking your money there would be more attractive after the rate hike. So it does cause an increase in the value of the currency. We've seen that happen against the US dollar. We see the Aussie trading up here this morning. So I've got a fib that I want to draw on this chart and just show you guys where we're at. You can see that we had the big explosive move off of the lows here and have pulled back into the 50% retracement. It seems like we're seeing some reaction here off of the 1 hour chart. The question is, am I long? The answer is no. I don't have any trades open on the Australian dollar. But we have to take, of course, a look at the US dollar as a whole. Here is the 4 hour chart. We'll start here, which shows that, again, we've really kind of gone sideways on the dollar. What was this really solid upward trend deteriorated a little bit and now seems to be finding resistance around the 104.5 level. For those of you guys watching the dollar, key thing to pay attention to here is that if the dollar gets strong above this area, it probably is back to standard play here on the dollar in terms of bullishness, but we'll have to watch out to see how that develops. Good morning to everybody in the chat. Hey, Vanessa, happy Taco Tuesday, says Vanessa. And hey to everybody in the chat. Thank you for being here. Thank you to the regulars for being here. A lot of you guys, you know who you are. If you are here every day, I appreciate you. You help make this show possible just by being here. And if you don't mind, take half a second to smash that thumbs up button as you jump into the show here with us. So I want to take a look at some things here today. Gold showing up as a possible buy here. And I want to talk about this because I talked about this a lot yesterday. Gold is one of my top priorities right now if we can get a technical breakout to the upside. So if I take a look here with you guys at XAUUSD, we're pulling up the gold futures chart, the CFD of gold. What I'm looking out for here is breakouts. You know, the problem is if you're trading the 1 hour chart yesterday, you may have had some great runs, right? The 1 hour chart, beautiful, you know, showed signs of support here. Frank pointed out yesterday that this looked really strong. And of course it popped higher, brief pullback before retesting this level of resistance that we've got right around 1966. What I'm looking for, guys, is I want to see continuation to the upside I want to see breakouts, right? So I am bullish on gold, but I want price action to kind of agree with my thought process there. So what I am looking for personally would be breaks higher above this area. And then I'm looking to potentially look for an initial attempt long here. Now, the trade I'm really interested in too, I've mentioned this as well, is a break above 1980. But I'd be interested in dabbling, getting started on a gold long trade, looking aggressively. A break here, retest, I'm actually going to be looking to get long on this gold move here. And again, this is, let's go through that for a second. Why am I long gold or long bias on gold? Short-term targets on the EDGEFINDER, we just added this. I'm dabbling. I'm not sure if I want to keep this yet or not. I'm experimenting with some projections from the EDGEFINDER. Targets here for gold right now from the EDGEFINDER are 2013.5. So we'll watch to see how that plays out. We've got a score of +4. COT data shows institutional money is long. Retail is 50-50. There's not quite enough of a mix there. Seasonal trends point bullish. Trend still kind of teetering back and forth, so we don't get super confirmation there. Will be interesting to see how that plays out as we break higher. If we break higher, guys, for those of you guys who are familiar with how the EDGEFINDER functions, retail sentiment will likely go bullish as retail traders start to sell. And then the trend will probably flip bullish, obviously, as well, if we start seeing a trend to the upside form. So we're very close, I think, to getting a really, really strong reading on the EDGEFINDER on gold. And again, what I'm looking for is breakouts throughout today's price action. I will be watching to see if we can get a big push up on gold. I'll be looking for pullback longs. That is something I am watching for today, trading at least zone to zone here, but really after the bigger breakout. So we'll see if we can catch that. So yes, silver is, gold is on the radar. Silver, I have not been trading silver, but I wouldn't be opposed to it either. Price action actually looks pretty good here on a pullback on silver, maybe one that I look at as well. I like to trade gold personally more than silver, just because it, again, is that risk-off asset that can be very, very volatile. So can silver. Silver can be as well, but it has a different set of contributing factors. It's more of an industrial commodity in some ways than gold is, as it is used in smartphones and airplanes and computers and all sorts of stuff at a very high pace. So yeah, watching to see how gold plays out this morning. Again, looking for breakouts of this zone and then looking for long opportunities there. So yeah, gold is on the watch list. Targets at 2013. We've added, guys, one of the goals here with the watch list tab, this is something that we're working on right now behind the scenes for the EDGEFINDER. We're trying to make the signals that it produces more clear. So if anybody has ideas, please feel free to message in. If you're many of you guys already have the EDGEFINDER. If you have the EDGEFINDER and you have ideas for how we can improve the signals and watch list features of the EDGEFINDER, then please feel free to message in on our support line or just email us, whatever works for you. We're always open to ideas. Of course, we can't guarantee that every idea will get implemented, but if we generally hear the same ideas, that's how we build the EDGEFINDER. We listen to the community, we listen to the users who have it already, and that's how we roll. So I'm looking at gold longs. That's an idea for me. That's a hot, I guess, most priority thing for me right now. Let's talk about some of these dollar crosses. A lot of you guys are wondering, what's going on with EURUSD, which has just been, yet again, that pop just got erased. And I'm just not, I'm not convinced of the bullish side just yet. Again, we saw a really optimistic start to a breakout higher here for the euro, and it just rolled over and got smacked at this 1.077 mark. And yesterday's price action, despite it showing some signs of life, we talked about that with Ivan and Frank yesterday, it yet again got hit down. And this price action to me just looks bearish. I mean, there's just nothing here for me just yet that is keeping me from saying, this thing just looks like it's a runaway to the downside. The dollar still looks strong. So yeah. Euro and pound also. Let's take a look at that pound, see how things are going with pound USD. And yeah, you can see pound USD, same thing. The bullish ideas that I had on pound USD from a price action standpoint. Now, I wasn't long pound. I didn't take any trades on this. I was just pointing out that we had a really strong push up. And I said, hey, I think we could probably see if the bulls are going to get strong, a pullback should work out, right? Didn't work out at all, right? Price came down. I didn't take any trades, but still my idea was completely wrong. And we saw price just fail at the same level. And not only that, we retested it and rolled back over. So price action looking really, really weak for some of these dollar crosses here today. So yeah, we're watching closely. Ivan's in the chat says bearish price action for now on Euro USD, case closed. Yeah, I mean, I was very optimistic that we could see some pops against the dollar, and it's not like I'm a dollar bull right now, so I'm not celebrating this by any means. It's just that the dollar strength seems to have faked myself and many other traders out, where we saw the breakout here. I thought dollar weakness was in. And we have been stubbornly persistent to the upside here for the dollar bulls right now. I mean, if you're a dollar bull, congrats. If you're selling gold, if you're selling euros, if you're selling Aussies, if you all those things, interesting things to watch out. Again, my top priority right now, I mentioned it. I'm looking for gold longs on a breakout. If we can get it a break above 1967, we're not quite there, so I have nothing on the table at that chart. But however, let's pull up NASDAQ. You guys know I'm also looking for longs on the NASDAQ. If we can get pullbacks, I may be interested. So an aggressive entry, this is something I would have to have a tight stop on. But an aggressive entry for me on NASDAQ would be a pullback perhaps today at this 14,444, somewhere in this region. Now, yes, this is an aggressive entry, and this is off the 4-hour chart. We could probably even drop it down to the 1 hour and watch closely, but I like NASDAQ longs. Actually, it's kind of messy on the 1 hour. Let's keep it to the 4 hour. 4-hour chart, again, 50% retracement. I love the way price action showed resistance here, broke higher, retested briefly, and launched. If it does come back into this area, super aggressive bulls could already be long, 38.2. I'm not quite that bullish. This thing has had a great run. There's some great fundamental catalysts, in my opinion, that are pushing this thing higher. I think Fed funds rate. I so desperately want to show you guys the central bank tracker stuff that we've been working on, but it's not quite ready. It will be coming soon. But yeah, I'm looking for pullbacks on the 50. That's something. It's not quite on the edge finder just yet, though. It's another reason why I'm not jumping. Just because something is not on the edge finder does not mean I always agree. Like, for example, I'm not necessarily selling euro. I even though our factors contribute to sell bias, I'm not quite there with selling euros or pounds. I'm just there's just other things I'm more interested in, like buying gold if I can find the setup. JP225 is not one that we talk about very often on the channel, but this chart is pretty, guys. In my opinion, this is a really strong upward trend here for the Japanese stock market. Pullbacks on this one, I'd be very intrigued by. If we can get it, this would be one that I'm looking out for going forward. So we'll see if we can find something there. By the way, guys, I do want to make a quick announcement. If you guys have not already gotten access to the Edge Finder, if you're a regular viewer of the stream, we are currently doing our summer sale, and it is a massive discount that you can get access to right now. If you have not already asked us about the sale, right now, here's your chance to do so. You're getting access to the Edge Finder Pro for a massive summer discount price. You're saving $840 plus off the product before the price goes back up. And yes, this is a limited space available. We are doing training with each person that gets access to the software. There is a team of people that can only take so many people for the product. So if you guys have not already taken advantage of the sale, here is how you can do it before it ends. It is ending soon. Click this link. It's right here in the chat down below. Send us a direct message. You could see that link in the chat right now. Click that link, and I'll show you what it looks like on your end, what it's going to pull up. So when you click that link, it's going to open up a direct message center. It looks like this. Click chat now and click tell me about the summer sale offer. And one of our support reps here in the office will tell you about the discount that you can get. Again, it is the best discount price of the summer on the Edge Finder. And if you miss out, you miss out. We're only doing it for a limited number of people. And if you're a regular viewer who has been watching the channel for a while, you love the software, you want a piece of it, this is your chance to get it for the best price of the summer. So take advantage before the sale ends. Again, we are ending soon on that. So if you've been thinking about it, don't hold back. It is your chance. So back to some charts here. I wanted to just follow up. Again, JP225, top of the watch list for the Edge Finder. I'm looking for pullbacks. If we can get it, I'm very intrigued, but I'm not going to chase on this one. Same thing with the NAS and the S&P 500. I also like the S&P 500 long. I think that there is more upside to this, but again, got to wait for a bigger pullback on this one as well. Here's your 4-hour chart, a pullback to the 61.8% retracement. That's 42.21. I like the idea of getting this one long as well if I can find it. So going to try and be patient on the S&P as well. If it does give us a little bit of a haircut here, I'll take it as an opportunity to potentially get long after this recent strength. Again, I look for pullbacks on the S&P. It is one of my bread and butter favorite trades to do. So if I take that trade, you guys will see it inside of Discord if you're a member with us. So keep an eye on that. Let's see. Andy Boy says still not affordable for non-US university students. Andy, message us in. If you have not already messaged us, we help people out. So if you have not messaged us, message us. If you want access to the software, we work things out with people who can't afford it. We understand not everybody can afford US products as easily, just because of the dollar strength in other places. We offer payment plans. We offer discounts for students. Just message us. If you have not already messaged us, again, we're going to drop the link again. If you guys have not messaged us about access to the software, someone from our team can help you out. Click the link. It's right here. Direct message us, and someone from our team can help you out. Especially if you're from somewhere outside of the US, just let us know that, the dollar is expensive to you, and we will do our very best to find something that works for you, whether it be a monthly installment fee, a student discount. Just chat with us. We're very willing to work with people who have a hard time affording our stuff. So we understand. We're trying to be receptive to that. Of course, while at the same time covering the costs that we have on the maintenance side and development side. Anyways, real quick, guys, we're going to be joined here in just a moment by Tom and Frank. Right before that, speaking of finances, we're going to thank our sponsors who help make this show possible. Stick around. We'll be right back to talk more about some of these currency pairs and commodities that are moving hot today. We'll talk trade setups right after this.
Attention A1 Trading Show fans, if you're interested in getting free access to the EDGEFINDER or our premium trade alerts, listen up. For a limited time, our show's partnered broker 8cap is giving out free access to our products when you sign up for a new trading account with them. If you already have a broker, you may want to consider switching to 8cap because of their low trading costs, a wide range of trading assets, and their amazing customer support. If you'd like to get access to our software and Discord server for free, click the link being dropped in the chat right now and ask one of our team members for more information. Don't miss your chance for free products and an award-winning broker. Now back to the A1 Trading Show.
All right, and we are back and joined by the trio. What's going on, Tom and Frank? Hey, guys.
Hello.
Morning, Nick. Morning, Frank.
Hey.
Morning, Tom.
Good to have you guys back on as always. And I was just talking about some of this euro dollar sell-off as well as pound dollar. Tom, what are you looking at today? Are you looking at any? I know we had talked Aussie dollar in the past. Aussie dollar has had a lot of strength come into it. With yesterday, we saw a surprise rate hike from the RBA. I'd love to get your take just on any Aussie pairs or any dollar crosses that you're looking at, and then I'll come to Frank and ask him a little bit more about that RBA stuff that happened. So, Tom, what's on your watch list today?
Yeah, so looking at Aussie dollar pairs, not really much. I mean, obviously, Aussie dollar got strength off the back of that interest rate increase, and I'm looking at, is this now potentially good value for shorts with Aussie dollar, US dollar to potentially take it back down? If we look at the weekly chart, yeah, I'm still biased towards the downside. Yeah, we're still clearly in a weekly downtrend. We broke these lows, so I'm still looking for a retrace into an area of value before I look to short this pair again. But what I don't like on the day, I'm very structure based. So as soon as we saw a break of this structure, so we were clearly in a downtrend at this point, lower highs, lower lows. But as soon as we got a break of these highs, it just puts me off shorting the pair. So I would potentially look for, maybe a sort of a breakdown in daily structure or even H4 structure before I start considering Aussie dollar, US dollar again. It'll be interesting to see if this daily candle finishes back into these highs, because that will be a real rejection of price. So yeah, they're the things I'm looking at on Aussie dollar, US dollar. But this structure break, this structure break here doesn't fill me with confidence to short Aussie dollar, US dollar just yet.
Yeah, I think that's fair because I was going to say that some of the that intraday kind of catalyst, that that rate hike that was unexpected, it can cause some short-term bullishness, but it also can get rejected, as you mentioned, if this candle, these candles here that I'm looking at, the 4-hour chart, if they continue to sort of crumble back down, it could perhaps offer some reversal tendencies. But for me personally, a rate hike that just kind of either means bullish or avoid it. And so just kind of an interesting one to take. Of course, if it does reverse, it reverses, and that's an interesting signal in its own. You mentioned kind of just being neutral and watching to see what happens there. So I like that. Frank, what do you think about any thoughts on again, rate hikes coming out of Australia? Surprise numbers there, 4.1% rate, funds rate compared to the 3.85% that were forecasted. Do you have any opinions on the Aussie?
Yeah, so I'm actually the same as Tom in terms of being short Aussie. Um, I think the move already happened. We saw a week in advance that price had already been going the way it wanted to. But what I'm looking at pair wise is Euro Aussie because it finally made that move all the way down to the trend line. And I like long term support levels, so trend lines like we see on this in gold just looks like a buy setup to me. Um, Australia is not very strong in general. I would say their currency is struggling a bit, but the recent strength came from the rate hike decisions. So just looking at setups against Aussie, and I guess I'm kind of with Tom where he's like not too sure about when would be a good entry point. In general, it's just kind of a short bias overall, but this is the only one that I feel like is promising. Is would be a long setup on Euro Aussie.
Yep, that's fair, and I think that I love the way when you do your daily charts, Frank. You're like the daily chart guy. You pull up the longer term, pull up the trend lines. You got one drawn on gold as well, which has proven to work out well. I want to ask you about that too. Show us your gold, because I think on our last live stream I had to cut you off a little bit short on your gold thoughts. You had a long-term trend line there. You've clearly got our momentum indicator there, continuing to stay green. Uh, what's the update on gold? Are you in a trade? Are you looking to take a trade? Where are you at with that?
So I'm in gold currently. I took a long trade yesterday. I actually think right now that I'm floating negative. Um, Today's candle is pretty steep on a sell off for the day. I think because the dollar's gaining strength the start of this week, which is kind of strange to see because stocks are doing the same thing. But same sentiment as before, and even so reinforced the fact that smart money is just continuously pouring money into long contracts, and this week even getting rid of a bunch of short contracts. So just overall buying into this gold fall from um, this was early May. It hit the highs and then came all the way back down. And that whole time, just about smart money was picking up shares of gold. So I'm not trying to trade against institutions. So this entry point's kind of just it's on the trend line basically. It's a little above it, but I'm minimizing my risk here because once we get a close below that, I'm not really sure. You know, it could be a trend reversal, but as long as we're sticking to this trend line and not going below it, I'm still long bias.
Yep. I like that. And Tom, I'm gonna come to you in just a second with gold because I want to ask your take as well. Just before that, I wanted to say two things. Number one, guys in the chat, we've got Ivan. Ivan is putting in the work today. He's not on camera, but off camera, he is answering questions in the chat. If you guys have them for him, feel free to ask them. And of course, if you guys are Discord members, send a message to Ivan if you haven't already. He's always willing to help, and he's the kind of guy that, you know, he likes to offer help beyond what I have a hard time. Like, even when I try and promote Ivan, I'll be like, go check out his channel or go, you know, do his coaching. He's like, no. And I'm like, Ivan, you've got great services and all sorts of stuff. Anyways, check out the chat if you're not already active in there. Ivan is helping out. But also, I wanted to go off before we talk to Tom about his gold idea, just to reiterate what Frank was saying about smart money being long gold. I know that sometimes newer viewers to our audience might be a little bit confused by what he meant by that. So we've got the COT report data pulled up. The smart money tracker shows us in terms of futures contracts, which of course, CFDs that you guys trade, if you're trading on a Forex broker, you're really trading a reflection of the futures market, right? The XAUUSD is a reflection of you know, gold futures, and gold is traded all around the world in different ways, but we can get an insight as to what big money is doing through the COT reports. And what our software does is it pulls in all of those futures, changes weeks to week, and we can get an idea of what institutional money is doing with gold specifically. So if we take a look at gold here, I'm going to just isolate it for a quick second. We'll look at gold, and we'll also just throw in silver there so we can take a look at the metals market. Of course, two of the metals market. We also have platinum we could throw on there as well. But for starters, let's take a look at gold and silver. And you can see that gold is very heavily, proportionally wise, showing a long interest from institutional money. So 77.73% of the futures contracts that we track from speculators, large speculators, hedge funds, banks, big money, basically, are on the long side of this trade. And to Frank's point here recently about them kind of pouring the coals to a bigger long position, we can take a look at these two categories right here. Take a look at the change in shorts. We see a decrease in shorts on the gold market, and we see a decrease in shorts on the silver market. Flip around, take a look at the long trade. It's a little bit more shiny, if you will, for gold, right? You have gold adding 1,000 contracts long, and silver reducing 1,800 contracts short. Reducing 1,800 contracts long. So what we're seeing here is we're seeing a flow into gold. We're seeing bullishness from gold on the institutional money side using our COT report tracker. Now, of course, if you guys do not already have access to this, remember, again, we are doing our sale. We dropped a link in the chat just a moment ago. Click this message if you have not already, to connect with one of our support reps. If you do not have access to our data, click this link here. It's going to take you to a center where you can have a chat with someone from our team and get access to the tool for yourself during our summer sale discount. I mentioned I want to go to Tom on gold. So Tom, you gave us great breakdown on the Aussie dollar just being hesitant. Where are you at with gold? Do you have any trades open, or are you looking to take any trades on gold specifically?
Yeah, it was one of my trade ideas this morning. I'm looking to buy gold. It's just this level here. You know, this area here. This is the weekly chart, by the way, guys. It's just this level here represents such good value for gold, and as long as this holds, you know, I don't know anyone that doesn't want to buy gold. Yeah, if this broke, yeah, we could see, you know, different things and different ideas with gold. But as long as this level holds, yeah, then buy gold pretty much. We've got this weekly, you know, diagonal channel as support. We also have the moving average 20, which I use as dynamic support. And you have this horizontal area of support. So, you know, there's a lot of support at this area. And for that reason, you know, we expect it to hold. All right. If it breaks, all trades are off. I am not looking to buy gold. So that's the weekly zone. And like I say, guys, it's such good value for potential trades all the way up to here. You're going to get a great risk to reward. If I drop down to the day chart now, for me, it's kind of, the day chart has almost entered a daily range. I mean, it is in a downtrend. Okay, but this downtrend has now, you know, arguably found a bit of a range. Yeah, so I'm expecting this to complete, you know, at least back up to here would be my target, and this blue line here represents my target. So it's in kind of a mini daily range. If we zoom in, guys, as well, you can see the bullish candle. You know, buyers have really rejected these last lows. Yeah, they continue to, you know, rejected this low here, rejected this low here, and again, rejected this low. There are, you know, lots of buyers sitting in here, okay? And hence we see this daily candle. So all I'm looking for, guys, if we drop down to the H4, okay, so this is, I'm looking for potentially a retrace into this gray zone here. Yeah, this would be a good entry for me. So, you know, you can see price has reacted historically in this level, and, you know, it continues to be potentially a good area of support for this pair to take price higher. I don't like that H4 candle, I must say. So generally, I will look at the H4, but generally I'll trade on the H1. And I'm looking for, you know, like to be with H1 structure. So potentially this is a good setup now for me. Yeah, these last H1 lows have held. Okay, we've bounced off of my area of support that I, you know, put in this morning. I think potentially we've got a good trade on our hands now, yeah, because it's hit my area that I'm interested in. So nothing but buys for me on gold, and this is my target up here, this 1978.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Tom. You've literally, as you were saying that, I have looked over things, and I think I'm also going to be looking to get long. In fact, in these areas, I might even punch a trade while we're on air here. Again, several factors here that we like. We've got, you know, that daily chart level. Frank has convinced me. You know, we pulled up his trend line. His trend line is so strong off the daily chart. You have strength coming into this market. COT is pouring the coals to longs. You know, we're now starting to see momentum pick up on these candles here recently. So I think gold might be a trade that I pick up here on stream. For those of you guys who are in the Discord, look out for an update for there. I will probably be putting that in here as we are going along the streams. Frank, you've got a chart pulled up. I can't see what it is. It's a big downtrend chart. What are you looking at there?
That's CAD Swiss.
Okay. Is CAD Swiss on the radar for you?
Yeah, so I'm not too bullish on either one, but they have the same situation as Aussie. They're getting into a rate decision for tomorrow, which is expected to be, well, at least it's forecasted at the same. I think it's 4.5. I could be wrong, but they're expected to not change rates in the forecast. However, I did look at their recent inflation numbers. CAD is sitting at a tick higher this month at 4.4%. You can see how it kind of peaks off and is coming down, but CPI, you know, started coming up again. So, you know, we don't have the Fed watch tool for other things like CAD or anything, but if I were to guess that investor sentiment on a rate hike probably went up when that inflation report came out. So I think we need to heavily watch this pair, because if we see a rate hike, we'll probably get that same reaction from Aussie where we get like a quick spike move, which could be, honestly, I think a good trade, especially on this chart where we see this long-term downtrend. We see a pop up. I could be confident in seeing a move getting completed to the top of this trend line, and you know, see what happens from there. It could obviously come straight back down after the news, but overall, like I think if we see a break here, we might see a break higher to this 0.68s, and you know, catch a trade from that.
Yeah, I like it. And Tom and Frank, you guys, I'm sticking around. I'm just doing the trades right now. So Tom, share something else with us. You take it over for a second, and then Frank respond. I'm just going to be writing up my trade here, so I'm not going to be able to focus too heavily on the chart for a second.
No problem, guys. I mean, a trade I'm looking at right now is Swiss franc Japanese yen. Okay, so on the day chart, guys, you know, there's value in this trade. Okay, so we can see on the day chart we're in an uptrend. I've been in this trade a couple of days now, and you know, again, we're getting this area of support here. We've got the moving average 20 as well. You know, there's good support in this area here, and yeah, I also, you know, pay attention to the candlesticks, guys. We're seeing this big bullish candlestick, and also these candlesticks. You know, today's candle hasn't finished forming, but the wicks on these candles are telling me buyers are sitting in here. Yeah, it keeps rejecting this level. So the trade idea is to take price potentially back up to these daily highs. I would go for 155 psychological level. Yeah, a little bit before the highs. So that's the trade I'm looking at. If we look at the H4, it also makes sense on the H4 because, you know, we're with H4 structure. Okay, so price came down. You know, you could feel that price was building up and it was going to break these highs. Yeah, we're getting lower highs and then eventually it breaks. And we've been, you know, ranging a little bit, I would say, on the H4. But these lows here have never broken. Okay. And at these lows here, yeah, we've just had a nice bullish H4 candle react at these lows. Okay, so the idea is to potentially take price all the way back up here. Like I say, I've been in this trade a couple of days and it's been whipsawing, you know, going in one direction, we think we're off, coming back down. But the overall day chart, you know, made me stick with this trade. And I still think it's a good trade idea. The moving average 20, I like to see price above the moving average 20. Yeah, and let's try and, you know, take price back up to here, guys, with Swiss franc, Japanese yen.
Tom, I definitely agree with you there. I'm mostly bearish on yen, so I really like that setup, the previous strong candle in that 4-hour chart. But speaking of yen pairs, I'm also looking at pound yen. If we pull it up on the smart money tracker, you see it's about even sentiment wise, just 55 to 44 or so, like still a little mixed. But what we're seeing on the changes to the long and short side could be a shift because we're looking at picking up in longs while a decrease in shorts. So, you know, we could see this sort of range get wider over time. If we pull up a chart on that, price is already making its move, bouncing off a longer term trend line. What is this? It's like a month or so. Heavy rejection on the daily chart looks promising. We can see a close there, maybe another test at the highs. I'm not in this trade. I was just looking around at yen pairs. I was also checking out dollar yen, which, as we know, the dollar is very strong this week. It closely follows the 2-year note, so whatever those short-term rates are doing, dollar yen's probably doing the same. But another similar behavior on the daily chart, just big rejection from the lows. Probably if we can see a completion to the top of this channel, you know, maybe a pullback from there. But I'm liking the odds on dollar yen and Swiss yen and pound yen. So yeah.
Guys, I'm going to jump in here for just a second. Sorry, there's a little bit of delay in there. I was just going to say, I just got the gold trade in there. I can show you for a second. Here's where I'm at. So I ended up picking up gold here. So I am looking at this as like we were just talking about in terms of the longer term upward trend that we saw off of the weekly and daily chart. I picked it up long. I just shared it inside of the Discord, guys. So if you have membership with us, just take a look at it's under the swing trades. So Nick's trade signals go under swing trades. I just took this trade. It is in there now. Between Tom and Frank convincing me here, we have enough people to put blame on. So if I'm wrong and if I take a loss here, Frank and Tom, you guys it's on you. I'm kidding completely. As always, you shouldn't take trades just because somebody else likes an idea. But I genuinely was looking for it ourselves as well. So sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to give you the update. So I am long gold. And again, it's off that chart that, Frank, you pointed out off the daily chart. You have a long-term sort of upward trend going on. We've seen some pretty stark rejection off those 1940s. As Tom was saying, daily candles looking pretty good in this area, rejection there. And then just entering off the intraday movement that we saw here today with this price driving off of those lows very nicely, 1938, 1940, holding here with a lot of rejection. We'll see if it can persist to the upside here going forward. But Tom, you were about to respond. I'm sorry to cut you off there. Keep going.
No problem. Yeah, I was just US dollar, Japanese yen as well, guys. We've just to support what Frank said, really. On the day chart, the weekly chart is what I really like. Yeah, because the weekly chart has broken this real, important piece of weekly resistance. Yeah, it reacted here, and this candle was just sailed through that area of resistance. So the weekly chart really supports our ideas. Even last week's candle with this wick has had a huge, push off that level. I talk about wicks far too much. I should get out more. And then if we support that with the day chart, then it again, we're in an uptrend. Yeah, we're at this gray zone, which we know is weekly, was once resistance, now support. We've had this bullish candle. Yeah, I don't like yesterday's red candle, but you'll see on the lower time frames the H4 trend is coming back, and we've just had a very strong H4 candle. So let's look at the H4. Yeah, I mean, look at that H4 candle. We was already in a H4, uptrend. As soon as we got a break of all of these highs here, we've been in an uptrend. It's retraced to a nice area of value, and we've got this very bullish H4 candle. So I'm actually in this trade, entered at this gray zone, and yeah, be looking to take it back up to here. And yeah, I generally, this is how I roll. I close 80% here, and then I just let 20% run, so half of me's intraday trading, and then the remaining 20% is like a swing trade, if you like. So yeah, just the US dollar yen. I like the looks of this right now as well.
Very nice. Yeah. And I like that, the dollar yen, I would say, of the dollar crosses, to me would be the one I'm most interested on the long side. It's an interesting divergence, I will say. And Frank and I can go back and forth on this, I'm sure. In terms of fundamentals, what's fascinating is you have yields generally, rising, right? A lot of very little interest for bonds. Yields continue to push higher. And at the very same time, you have the equities market pushing higher with it. It's a bizarre kind of situation, as many traders will sort of say. It's the yin and yang effect. When stocks ying, the other yangs or zigs or zags, whatever you want to say. But the point is, right now we're kind of seeing a general shift where we see yields rising while equities also perform well. We could talk about indices, as I did earlier. I'm also looking for NASDAQ pullbacks, S&P pullbacks as well. We see equities, giving back a little bit of their gains, but still very, very strong, while the 2-year, the 5-year continue to trend up. So it's an interesting dynamic to watch there. And of course, I think pullbacks on the indices, we've talked about that a lot in our last trio. When it runs up like this, you got to give it some room to pull back, just because, again, you start looking at the risk reward of these things. Sure, it could keep going higher and nobody would sort of dispute that that's a possibility. But the point is, how much risk do you want to take? Where do you put a stop loss on this kind of trade? Your stop loss, you're just kind of putting it in no man's land where, if we're using structure as most of us do with our trading, structure isn't until I think you get down into these areas. So your stop loss has to be ginormous. So it's kind of one of those things where if that price gives us a pullback, there may be opportunities to get some tighter stop losses on there and better risk to reward. So I think that's where I'm at personally with the indices. I think we're wrapping up the show here, guys. Otherwise, I would ask you to go deep dive into indices. But hey, we're here every day, and that's why we do this, so we can keep up to date with everything. I want to thank both of you guys for coming on the show. Tom, thank you for being our guest today. As always, guys, if you do not already follow Tom on his own social media, he has a great YouTube channel for you to check it out. Simply Forex. Here it is in the chat. We just put it there. Click that link. It'll take you over to Tom's channel where you can subscribe and keep up with his latest commentary there in case you want to see him just beyond the couple times he comes on the A1 Trading Show each week. Tom, thank you for coming on.
Cheers, Nick. Cheers, Frank. See you later, guys. See ya.
All right. And same thing, Frank. We'll see you next time. Thanks for coming on as always. And next time, Frank, we got to talk about the central bank forecast stuff that we're working. I think we have to debut that. Cool. All right. See you next time.
Bye.
All right, guys. And that is today's show. If you enjoyed today's show, do me a quick favor, hit that thumbs up. And remember, if you are a fan of the channel and you want access to the data that we've been building, we have right now access available for a massive discount for the summer sale that we are doing right now. This includes discounts for students. This includes discounts for people all over the world. If you guys want access to the software, we are making it happen for people. We are closing this sale out pretty soon. So we want people who want our tools to get your access right now before the end of this sale. So right now, again, we mentioned it earlier, but for those of you who missed it, get access to the EDGEFINDER with all of its features, these COT reports, the retail sentiment, smart money tracker stuff that we've got on the show, as well as access to all of our MetaTrader robots and indicators free with your purchase. And of course, you can save $840 plus. We just did a massive price cut for this brief period only. Price will be going back up after that. Again, this is a limited space available kind of thing. We're only doing it for a certain number of people. So message in and see how much of a discount we can get you right now. Click this link. It's going to take you to Direct Message Center where you can chat with one of our support reps. Ask them what the discount is all about, and we'll get you the best price we possibly can for the software while this sale lasts. Thank you guys for tuning into the show, and we'll see you back next time.
Man, getting a nice tan out here. How you doing?
Dude, I'm getting cooked by the sun and by this Euro yen trade I'm stuck in. I took a sell trade.
Dude, you need the EDGEFINDER.
The EDGEFINDER?
Yeah, if you had the EDGEFINDER, you would have known that smart money was actually long.
Really? So you're telling me I was selling when smart money was long, and if I had the EDGEFINDER, I would have known that?
Exactly.
Pass me one of those EDGEFINDERs. Let me get one of those. Get our biggest discount of the summer. Get access to the EDGEFINDER, our MT4 and MT5 softwares, indicators, and robots, all in a single 20% off discount offer. Take advantage using the links and promo codes down below in the description.